Hello everyone, it is I, Republic Studs, and today we are going to be taking a look at one of my new favorite LEGO sets ever, the Kevin McAllister's Home Alone house, with over 55 details that I picked up on when building this, and we are going to get started, so I'm going to ask you all to hit that subscribe button, and we're going to get right on into it with the figures. At number 1, Kevin and his mom both have their shocked face from when Kevin put shaving cream on his face, and when his mom realized that she left Kevin missing, as well as when she realized they were late to their flight. Kevin! Harry, played by the legendary Joe Pesci, has his iconic golden tooth in his mouth, as well as he came with a police officer's hat that I seem to have lost, but was in reference to him posing as a police officer in the beginning of the movie. Next up, Marv, Harry's buddy, has a distinct iron burn on his headpiece because of the iron that happened to fall on his head in the movie, and is actually a feature in this set, which we'll get into a little later. Now it is time to take a look at the house. In the front, there is a little mini statue of the jockey that is supposed to be in the front that the pizza guy was famous for knocking over, and I think that's a cute little detail. And on the front doormat, there is a letter M for McAllister, the owners of this home. Now when you open the two frontal panels, you will notice a sticker on each side of the door. On the right side being one for Paris, which is where the family went in the very first movie. And on the right side being the Empire State Building, which is where Kevin went in the second movie. Now starting out on the left side of the house, you will notice loads of little details in Kevin's living room. First we see the iconic cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan, but this time it's stickered on with 23 bricks resembling Michael, which I think is fantastic. And this is all on a rotating train set, which I think is quite a fantastic design. You'll also notice on the floor behind the couch, there are some toy race cars and shattered ornaments that Kevin used to trip up the wet bandits. And there's also this little interpretation of a general layout of the McAllister House Lego set, which I think is fantastic and a great little gift for Kevin, and just an all-around cool little detail. And another cool detail is on the tree, you will notice two doves, which I believe are supposed to be there to represent the two turtle doves that Mr. Duncan gave to Kevin in the second Home Alone movie and was put on the tree, and I think that is just an awesome detail that I haven't seen anyone pick up on. There is also a painting or picture of all of Kevin McAllister's cousins on the wall, which is pretty great. And moving to the center of the house, there is obviously the doorway, in which you also get a look at the main entrance of the McAllister house. And you also get a look at all these staircases, which you would not really know about if you just looked at the regular box art. And there's also a great feature where you can push in and out Kevin in his sleigh, and all you have to do is push him down and he slides right out. Moving on to the right side of the house, we actually have the dining room, which, by the way, does have a absolutely glorious and beautiful looking area rug under the table. And on the table from Kevin's meal before the bandits attacked is a plate of macaroni and cheese. Now this is in reference to the microwavable packs that he got at the store, and they're referenced a decent amount later on in this video.
Bless this highly nutritious microwavable macaroni and cheese dinner, and the people sold it on sale.
And in the back of the room, there's actually a fan that Kevin used to blow feathers into the bandits. It is one of his great scheme of attacks. And something a lot of people have not picked up on is there are actually 3 sets of stairs that are connected to this back house where the kitchen is, and I think that's just a cool, neat little feature that also lifts up the house a bit, and so that way you're able to get into the kitchen, and it connects quite well. Now, before we get into the kitchen, I need to separate it off from the set, and it separates pretty easily. And to get better lighting for the kitchen, I am also going to take off the roof. And you look into the kitchen, and right away there is so much to unpack. From the Little Nero's pizza box, with the infamous pepperoni pizza. I think they did that on purpose, just because Kevin does not like pepperoni pizza.
Did anyone order me a plain cheese?
Oh yeah, we did. But if you want any, somebody's gonna have to barf it all up.
And if you look to the left on the fridge, there are loads of little details, and as you move to the bottom, there's actually a little postcard from sunny Florida, I believe that is in reference to where the family went in the second movie, as well as a guide, Statue of Liberty, which was from New York. Kevin had that in New York, and I think that is a great detail and reference to the second movie as well. And when you open the fridge with this handle, you get even more of the microwavable mac and cheese packs, 2 to be precise, of the ones that Kevin picked up in the store. And if you look on the right, there's actually a laundry chute that Kevin uses to drop an iron down on one of the bandits, and it works pretty simply. You know how it goes. And next to that is actually a microwave where you can microwave Kevin's microwavable macaroni. And on the TV is the famous scene with the
Johnny, I'm sorry.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
And obviously it doesn't have the gun because that would imply violence. And when you take a look where Carrie is standing, there is actually a little flame, which is where his head caught fire in the first movie. And over here on the door, there's actually a little doggy door for Marv to put his head in and eventually get shot by Kevin.
Hello.
And moving down from this to the basement, you will notice a dark and scary place. And that's kind of the vibe this is supposed to have. And before we get into any other details, I do want to show you guys, there is a special feature that when you lift this guy, a little light turns on, which is very scary, and I'll talk about that in a second. Now, this is the furnace, and the reason it does that whole thing, where when you lift it, it decides to make a fire-like thing, is because Kevin is scared of it and supposed to be like a supervillain, so I think that was a neat thing they did not have to do, but they did, and I actually really like it. On the right, there are some household goods. They have that detergent Kevin picked up and did his laundry down there. There's the toolbox that he drops on their heads with all the tools in it. And also on the floor, this is a detail I know nobody's really picked up on, is actually a sock from one of the bandits, because the bandit Kevin did put down that sticky stuff downstairs, and that is one of the bandits' socks, which is kind of neat. And now we're moving upstairs, and we're actually going to be starting on the left side with Buzz's room. And yet again, we are going to have to lift up another level of house. But before that, on the staircase, you will notice pictures of Kevin's mom and Buzz on the staircase, as well as Kevin and his father on there, and you'll see a little spider, but we'll get to that later. Also fun to note, there is a little keep out sign, which I think is fantastic. The file for this got corrupted, but there is actually on the back door of Buzz's room a reference to the designer of the set, Alexei from the Ukraine, and he's really cool. I've talked to him a lot, and I think it's a great little detail. Now, this is certainly one of the most fun rooms, and we'll talk about a bit why, but let's get started with the first detail. There's Buzz's girlfriend.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
And in Buzz's chest, there is actually a little heart in here for the variety of things that Buzz happens to enjoy, which is quite an interesting detail. There's actually a little flyer on Buzz's desk from the Duncan's toy store from the second movie, which is just fantastic. I really, really love that they reference this, and it's a little Christmas sale. This is obviously the guy who gave Kevin the 2 turtle doves, and I just love this. Now, the shelf behind that has a variety of details, from the little tarantula habitat with that glass piece there, to the dynamite. I believe this is actually a reference to the dynamite Kevin uses to signal the police in the second Home Alone movie. And then there's also a little helmet that Kevin uses in the movie, and there's also some money which Kevin steals. And there's actually a feature that when you pull a pin at the back of the house, everything falls down because Kevin does collapse the shelf. And of course, the coolest feature, the BB gun. Now on the back there is actually the tarantula spider. This is the one that Kevin sees on the stairs and uses to distract the bandit. And on the back, there is actually a paint can that when Kevin throws down, it will go down and hit the bandits on the stairs. Heads up! Looks like that one got Marv. And moving to the right actually is the famous bathroom where loads of certain famous scenes have. First up, a detail nobody has pointed out is the toothbrush that Kevin has in here. Now this is the one that Kevin was wondering if it was approved by the American Dental Association.
Is this toothbrush approved by the American Dental Association?
And today we still do not know if it is approved by the American Dental Association. And this is, of course, where the very famous takes place. And next up, there's actually an entire room I'd argue is a hidden feature on its own because it is seen in none of the promotional things, and it's very hidden from any real advertising, so that's really kind of cool. Let's take a look at it. Now, the room has a little fireplace in the corner, which is something that is pretty interesting. And then also you can move to the other side, and there is a little popcorn. Now the popcorn is in reference to when Kevin jumped on the bed and was eating popcorn. And the alarm clock is also set to 12 because that is when Kevin's mom, because the power lines ran out, she realized that they were going to be late. And now it is time to move up the second set of stairs, arguably third if you count the one in the kitchen, of this Lego set to the 4th floor. Now to open the roof, all you have to do is simply lift up this piece like so. And you'll start off by actually noticing this bed, which doubles as a pull-out couch, which I think is just a fantastic detail. You notice the shape of the couch, and obviously it looks like a pull-out, which is really kind of great. And on the desk, you'll also notice a neat little lamp and a Pepsi in reference to Kevin's cousin Fuller, who won't lay off the Pepsi.
Fuller, go easy on the Pepsi.
And also it's a reference to how he wets the bed. And by far, one of the coolest stickers in this set is Kevin's battle plan. They have it all laid out on the sticker. It says Kevin McAllister on it and everything, which just kind of looks amazing. And then you do also get this extremely awesome bubblegum machine. I don't remember that from the movie, but it's still really cool. There is obviously a zip line for Kevin to scoot from his house to the treehouse, and then also in the treehouse there is a set of scissors that are pretty gigantic in the hand of the minifigure, and would be the ones that he would try to use to cut the wire of the zip line. And a neat thing about the house is there is a little pirate flag as well as a little airplane build in the tree, which was, I guess, thrown in there. Another cool detail is behind the house in the trash can that you can also use for the old man. There is a little plane ticket for Kevin, which actually they threw out in the movie because it got covered in milk. And moving over is the van build. This is obviously a great little build of the Wet Bandits, the plumbing and heating thing. And of course in the back, there is a little sink piece because of course they are the Wet Bandits. So why not steal, I guess, an entire golden sink? And finally, detail 55 is anyone that you guys noticed that I did not pick up on in this entire video. I want to hear all of the amazing details. I've loved this set. I spent hours decoding and writing down every detail I could find in this thing, and it is packed to the brim. Certainly one of, if not the singularly most detailed Lego sets I think I have ever seen. With that said, I'm going to ask you all to smash that subscribe button. I have put tons of work into this video, and I probably won't get the credit that it deserves. So I'll see you guys later. Remember, peace out, and stay awesome.